In the headlines, kidnapped Zamfara student freed and staff freed after 7-month ordeal. Tension rises in Edo election as Obaseki urges calm. Nimet warns of nationwide thunderstorms over the next 3 days. On the foreign scene, Sudanese foreign minister demands end to double standards in UN chapter implementation. Hello, welcome to News Updates on Trust Television. I am Lilian Ogazi. Moving to the stories for the day now, students and staff members of the Federal University Gusau in Zamfara State who were kidnapped by bandits have regained their freedom after 7 months in captivity. Security analyst and counterinsurgency expert Zagazola Makama confirmed the release in a report via X on Monday. The victims were reportedly kidnapped during an attack in the Gusau area in February of this year. However, Zagazola did not further explain the circumstances behind their release and whether or not ransom was paid. He added that security forces were said to have played a crucial role in their rescue. Now joining us via phone is Daily Trust Regional Editor Yushawa Adamu to speak on the development. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, can you give us an update now? Have the children or the students released, have they been reunited with their families just yet?
Well, so far we have not had that either from the school authority or from the parents. But I have contacted the SA media on publicity and mobilization to the Zamfara state government, who brought about a new update regarding the development. He said as far as the Zamfara state government is concerned, those that are released are not students of the Federal University of Gusau, because the other time, that was sometimes in April, the Office of the National Security Advisor sent a delegation under the leadership of Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, who facilitated the release of the student of the Federal University of Gusau. According to him, said all the students were released as of April this year. So those that are recently released are not part of the students that were abducted. I called some of the parents of the affected students. They confirmed to me that yes, all their children were released since April this year. So the recent development did not affect the student of the Federal University of Gusau.
So who were those now released? If they said all the students were released since April this year, so who are those that have been released recently?
No, if you can recall, when the abductors invaded the schools, they have abducted students, staff of the university, and some construction workers who came from Zaria and for a project that they are executing in the university. So probably those that are released recently were those that are working in the university. I mean the staff of the university and the construction workers.
All right. So do you have any idea if ransom was paid for the release?
So far we have not had that because the issue of ransom, is being handled with utmost care. So it's not something that exposed to the public.
All right. Finally, now, quickly before we go, what's the ambience like in Gusau on the release of the students? How do the people feel about it?
Well, as usual, people are happy about the development because this is what people are anxious to hear or to see, that those that are abducted are being released by the bandits. So people are very much happy.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us, Yushao Adamu, for giving us the updates. Thank you for joining us on the news.
Have a nice day.
That was Yushao Adamu, Daily Trust Regional Editor there, giving us an update. Now, moving on, still on insecurity, the General Officer of Commanding 3 Division of the Nigerian Army and Commander of Operation Safe Haven, Major General Abdulsalam Abubakar, has attributed the restoration of peace and harmony in Plateau to the deployment of technology and multiple strategies in the fight against insecurity. The GOC made this known over the weekend while addressing members of the Correspondence Chapel in the state. Ado Musa completes the report.
Communities across the state have been plagued by ethnic and religious conflicts, resulting in the loss of hundreds of lives over the past 2 decades. The persistent violence, according to the security analysts, is largely attributed to the lack of sincerity among stakeholders in the state. However, responding to the ongoing restoration of peace, the GOC and OPSH commander said multiple strategies were employed to restore peace in the state.
So what we have done is to go back to the drawing board, look at our campaign plan once again, and bring out lessons that have been learned from the previous encounters that we've had within the plateau especially. And of course, imbibing that ethos in our men to continue to be professional, to continue to be neutral, and above all, by being responsive whenever there are security challenges on the plateau. And to do that, we needed to quickly gain the confidence of the populace.
Major General Abubakar also said the use of technology has assisted the Nigerian army in restoring peace in the state.
As we speak, some of the successes that we have recorded in the last couple of months, which you have all helped to help us air in your respective media platforms, were achievements because we employed technology. And that is the way forward. That is what armies all over do. When you can't have boots everywhere, you cover those gaps with technology, which is some of what we are using now. That has likely reduced the tension on the plateau, has enhanced security, socio-economic activities have picked up, people are going about their businesses.
Earlier, the state chairman of the Correspondence Chapel, Polycarp Auta, said the GOC's ability to be neutral in the course of his duty has attributed to the restoration of peace in the affected communities.
That as journalists, we are neutral people. We do not take sides. Because the security challenges on the plateau are dynamic. And it takes a very strong fine officer like you to be able to calm the situation the way we are enjoying on the plateau now.
While appreciating the effort of journalists in the state for being professional, the GOC also emphasized that all hands must be on deck to ensure lasting peace in the state. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Now in Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki has called for calm following the announcement of the governorship election results by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) on Sunday. In a statement, Obaseki, who criticized the election for alleged violations of due process and the rule of law, urged those dissatisfied with the outcome to seek redress through legal channels. INEC declared Monday Okpebolo of the All Progressive Congress (APC) the winner with 291,667 votes, defeating the People's Democratic Party's PDP Asue Ighodalo, who secured 246. Mudi Akpata finished third with 22,761 votes.
The attractive thing about democracy is the power it bestows on the people to choose who governs them. Therefore, when this power is blatantly seized from the people, it is not just a tragedy, but a travesty of democracy. Regrettably, the outcome of the September 21st governorship election appears to have daunted the spirit of many Edo people who feel powerless in the face of the brute force of the institutions that are supposed to protect them. It is therefore understandable that many people feel sad and aggrieved. But in the midst of this despair, I'm urging all my fellow Edo citizens to maintain calm and not resort to violence and the destruction of property in spite of this provocation. Peace and justice will always win at the end, and this is my prescription to all the good people of Edo State who feel vexed and violated at this time.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Monday Okpebholo of the All Progressive Congress for his victory in Saturday's Edo State governorship election. In a statement on Sunday by presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga, Tinubu urged Okpebholo not to gloat over his victory, but to see it as a challenge and called to service. The president encouraged him to demonstrate magnanimity by reaching out to his political rivals and uniting the people of Edo State to ensure its development. Tinubu also praised other candidates who participated in the election for their contributions to advancing Nigeria's democracy, saying peaceful political contests such as the one on Saturday portray Nigeria as a stable democracy. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has declared that the All Progressive Congress victory in the Edo State governorship election demonstrates the trust Nigerians have in President Bola Tinubu's leadership. Speaking after the Independent National Electoral Commission announced Monday Okpebholo as the winner, Akpabio said the result shows growing confidence in the APC government.
I believe strongly that the elections of Edo, though very tense at the beginning, the outcome is a reflection of the confidence that Nigerians have continued to express in President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that his administration has made a mess on the ground, but they are doing their best to see how they can turn around the problems of Nigeria. I want to tell you to remain patient and continue to support the president, support his administration.
Meanwhile, former Edo State Governor Adams Oshiomhole believes Monday Okpebholo's victory is divinely ordained, describing it as a corrective measures for what he called Governor Obaseki's 8 years of disaster. Oshiomhole emphasized that power belongs to God, attributing the outcome to divine intervention.
Those with wisdom know that power resides only with God. And those who win it on the planet Earth are only the few that God has so anointed. And that is why when some people say election is a do or die, we say no. It's about choice, it's about celebration of the power of the ordinary citizen to hire and fire people who otherwise can even sign death sentence. Now, today, God by his infinite powers has decreed Senator Monday Akpako-Mensah, alias Akpako Rescue. Some now call him Akpako Miracle because they don't need all of that to make up for the 8-year disaster of Obaseki and Aswed together. Yes.
Now moving away from Edo State, Justice Iyangeku of the Federal High Court Abuja has dismissed a suit seeking the removal of Abdullahi Ganduje as the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress APC. The suit instituted against Ganduje by the APC North Central Group was dismissed by the judge on various grounds. Justice Eko held that the APC North Central Group is not a juristic person and not registered in law, therefore has no legal power and capacity to file the suit. The judge also held that the plaintiff failed to explore the internal mechanism for peaceful resolution of issues before rushing to the court. Justice Eko further held that the appointment of officers for APC by its national executive committee is an internal affair of the party, which no court can dabble into. The Northern Central APC group had dragged Ganduje, APC and the Independent National Electoral Commission before the court, praying for the nullification of the appointment of Ganduje by APC on the grounds of gross violation of the party's constitution. Social media isn't just a trend. It's woven into the fabric of students' daily lives. A recent study reveals that a staggering 95% of teenagers are active on these platforms, using them to connect, share, and engage with the world around them. It's their virtual playground where friendships flourish and ideas spark, shaping how they communicate and interact in a fast-paced digital age. In this report, Trust TV News speaks to parents and students on the pros and cons of social media use.
In the 21st century, education has shifted to technology-based. This phenomenon has seen social media become an integrating tool of education that improves national development in the education sector. Social media has affected communication between people in educational communities positively over the past decades. Now, life is made easy by several platforms for development academically, socially, and politically. Some parents voiced their concerns about social media's distraction, highlighting how it often pulls students away from their studies. They lamented that many children spend more time on apps than reading or engaging in activities that could enhance their knowledge and academic performance.
Time that they are supposed to be spending on their books, assignment, research and all that, spending it on social media with all these many content creating, comedy and all that, they just notice that they're just whiling away the time doing nothing. I think that's the bad side of it.
Many students shared how social media has become a powerful ally in marketing their businesses, providing them with alternative sources of income. It has also raised their awareness of societal issues, keeping them informed and engaged with their communities.
I'm very active on social media, and so far, being a student, it helped me in marketing my business. So I have an online marketing complex where people meet me and ask me to market their products. I will charge you so amount of money according to the customers I get for you. So far, it has impacted me in many ways, helped me very well. I don't think a disciplined student should allow social media to distract. Everything has its own time.
Social media is very good, but you also make some students not to read or not to focus on their study, but you also help too. Because what is going on in the country, without social media, I can't know what is going on in the country. And it also helped me too, to know where I'm going and to know what is going on in the country. Because without social media, you cannot stand in your ground and you cannot know what is going on.
While many view social media as a vital tool that can positively impact students' lives when used wisely, others emphasize the importance of responsibilities and balance. Students are encouraged to navigate social media thoughtfully to avoid its potential negative effects. Abdulmuminu Aisha, Trust TV News, Abuja.
This is news update coming to you from Trust TV. Coming up, Gombe rice millers embrace sustainable practices to combat climate change and boost earnings. This and more after the break. To stay. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is news update coming to you from Trust TV. Let's take a look at our headline stories again. Kidnapped Zamfara students and staff freed after 7-month ordeal. Tension rises in Edo election as Obaseki urges calm. Now moving on to other stories, kicking off in Gombe, where rice millers in the state are embracing safer and more efficient milling techniques to combat the impacts of climate change in the northeast. By adopting these new methods, they aim to reduce firewood consumption and curb deforestation, integrating environmental sustainability practices such as alternative power sources that can either enhance their earnings. While experts comment this initiative, they stress the importance of involving youth in effective environmental management throughout the country. Hassan Kohli has more on this.
The newly introduced efficient rice parboiler will replace the traditional method of parboiling rice that requires burning lots of firewood, which is indirectly promoting deforestation. The move is part of effort by several pro-environmental organizations and individuals in the search for solution to the effect of climate change. According to renewable energy experts, the development will help reduce the level of firewood utilization in parboiling rice, a move that will go a long way in reducing the emission of harmful gases to the atmosphere. While welcoming any development that requires their contribution to campaigns against the adverse effect of climate change, the rice millers are optimistic that the rice parboiler will enhance their business too. As people who depended on firewood to process rice, we intentionally came here to look for better equipment. When compared with this one, the difference is significant. As we practice this stuff, we realize that we only use firewood worth 200 naira compared to that of 1,500 naira. when we use our method. Another advantage of the new one is that it does not make the weather hot, so it is indeed a welcome development that we will for sure adopt in order to save the environment and improve our business too. With the adverse effect of climate change and environmental problems in the Northeast states, stakeholders say the youth must act to complement the ongoing climate change campaign.
Be bad to advocate and call on my fellow youth to come along, mobilize, from groups, from vanguards that will bring ideas due to our nature of dynamisms as youths, full of energy. Let's bring innovative ideas that can be supportive to the already identified SDG 13, which is talking about climate change, which is a United Nations program, global program. However, you know, the SDGs, what they're talking about is think globally and act locally.
The recent flooding in Maiduguri, which killed dozens of people and rendered thousands homeless, has triggered calls for a holistic approach in the fight against environmentally harmful practices, especially during this time of hardship. From Gombe, Hassan Koli reporting for Trust TV.
Now moving away from that, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has predicted 3-day nationwide thunderstorms with parts of Sokoto, Kebbi and Borno states taking the lead. A weather outlook released on Sunday said it envisaged thunderstorms over parts of Borno, Yobe, Jigawa, Taraba, Adamawa, Gombe, Bauchi, Kano, Katsina, Kaduna, Zamfara, Kebbi and Sokoto states later in the day. The agency again said thunderstorms are expected over parts of the state in southern Nigeria later in the day. The agency envisaged thunderstorms over parts of the Federal Capital Territory, Niger, Benue and Nasarawa states within the morning hours. NIMET urged residents to avoid flood-prone areas as there is a high likelihood of urban flooding in major cities due to heavy downpours. Now away from Nigeria, Sudanese Foreign Minister Hussein Awad Ali has called for an end to double standards in selectivity in implementing the United Nations Charter. Awad Ali says the treaty is the founding document of the United Nations that is supposed to codify the major principles of international relations. He said there is a need to strictly adhere to the UN Charter, its principles and purposes. According to him, the Union must avoid highlighting certain principles and not the others, or reinterpreting such principles and rules. The FM said the stability of international order is underpinned on the respect of the UN Charter, especially the non-interference and internal affairs of other countries, the respect of the state's sovereignty and its territorial integrity, and non-use of force in international relations. This comment comes as Sudan has repeatedly accused the United Arab Emirates of arming the RSF group in the ongoing war in the country. Nearly 80 years after the foundation of the UN, the body continues to face calls for reform. And in sport, Nigeria's women under-19 team, the Junior Female Yellow Greens, began their 2025 ICC Women's T20 World Cup qualifiers with a flying start, beating Tanzania by 4 wickets on Sunday in Kigali, Rwanda. Lilian Ude was the biggest performer for Nigeria, grabbing 5 wickets to power Nigeria to a confidence-boosting win in their group. Nigerian captain Lucky Pieti lost the toss and the Tanzanian elected to bat first, but that was the only win the East Africans could claim as Nigeria ran the show in the first innings with some spectacular bowling. One of Tanzania's opening batter, Jennifer Kimaro, proved difficult on the seas for Nigeria until she was undone by Ude after making 64 runs off 60 balls. Ude then proved to be the thorn in the flesh of the Tanzanians, grabbing 4 other wickets and conceding 12 runs to ensure they ended the first innings with a 106 run for the loss of 8 wickets in 20 overs. Nigeria's win puts them in a strong position in the group ahead of their second game against Zimbabwe on Monday, as they hope to pick Africa's second ticket to the World Cup in Malaysia next year. With that, we've come to the end of news updates here on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms for more news programs and documentaries. Thanks for watching. I am Lilian Ogazi. Bye for now.